Hello, you two. This is originally going out to two of you, to Brittany and to Hillary. I have had this intuitively come to me. I needed to record this and to be unscripted, so it totally is. I am no LTB. She is her own unique. Sorry, that's sounding like the earth is highly resonating behind me, like I'm making something happen. Oh, that's an airplane. All right. Anyway, uh, this conversation, or it's not. I don't know what this is going to be. This chat about some concepts is probably going to be. Well, I believe it is going to be multidimensional and very nonlinear. Nonlinear. I'm also journeying with Sister Cannabis, and she's really helping. But sometimes I get a little not as articulate as I would like to be. So my cousin, I've realized, is a true genius of a kind. He was sharing with me this thing a couple of weeks ago. I talk to him every Sunday morning at 8:30. We have a unique relationship. He and I both are um, unique within our family, extended family of the four parents of whom his dad and my mom are in that generation. Um, he and I are the ones that have had addiction issues and are also highly, highly creative and published writers and all this stuff. So I've been talking to him a lot about things because he has been pretty powerful in activations for me. And he was telling me about this programming project, and something in me just went ping, and I said, "Tell me more about that." He was like, "Oh, okay," and so he did. And gave me a link to all these pictures of all these notes that he had made while he was in a psych ward for a while in Pennsylvania. And I was just looking at it, and I was like, I need to know all about this. I need to know this. There's something really important about you sharing it with me. So he did send it to me, and I looked at it, and was looking at these images, and it's a whole lot of it. It's way over my head. He's created a programming language. And basically, he's wanting to. It's this gorgeous algorithm that that retrains the brain. So it's algorithmic neuroplasticity is kind of the easiest way I can describe that, right? So, but understanding how it works. So really being able to really sophisticated. Programming and somehow do it, I don't know, with if we can work more on the body electric kind of stuff to figure out electromagnetically how to program it to say not have addictions to things, right? And just really get into the neural network and for our betterment. And it feels so inspired. And so I'm going to give you the link to all these pictures, and if you look at them and go down about a quarter of the way, what he and I were talking about this morning, which, and like I said, this is going to be all over. We were talking about it together, and so I want to show you the triangles. Basically what he and his friends had come up with in high school, I think, was condensing basically any kind of societal programming or your own programming of situations and emotions and how you would act down to a triangle. So the triangle is your base reality of everything. And you have levels of like heaviness. So 1 means it's a pretty light influence, 2 is average, and then 3 would be a heavy influence. And that combination I think comes up to there are 21 possible combinations. I'll have to look again. And that with all those combinations, that you can basically elegantly use those set of 21 combinations on this triangle to program just about anything you could ever want to know answers to. It's super elegant if you can get it down to a 21 element, either about emotional EQ, emotional whatever, quantification, I don't know. if we could, if I somehow knew how to do this, the intelligent universe quanta, I could figure out how to turn those on and say what happens when you do this, or if this inclination is there, and then you determine what the input is. You've determined what the actions are that are going to happen in the middle there, so the algorithm itself, which is going to determine beautifully whatever that result is that you're looking for. So we just watched this thing on influencing voters, right, in Netflix, of knowing all this quantifiable data. You can change stuff and think, wow, how if we use that for good? How do we get to be the most transparent as a species as we can be? And what I realized when he was talking to me about it, it's like this. It would kind of, you could use it as this very elegant 21 part around a triangle kind of blockchain algorithm for voting, for absolutely tamper-proof voting, that by I don't even quite, I can just visualize it. I can't articulate it very well. I'm so sorry, but that of like somehow making all the sets of questions, or in that kind of quantum, we saw something on that recently too. The state, resonancy, anyway. But that would make it complicated enough and off on servers, so away from people, so that it would be tamper-proof. And then people would be able to trust that the results are real, and so then there can be faith in government again. It seems like this so beautifully simple way of looking at things, but it allows you to get really sophisticated data out of it, all by using it intuitively and creatively. So that's his thing. And that's just one part of what has been going on. As I've been working with Brittany about kind of the sphere of influence thing, or all these symbols, and I was writing down all these symbols like fence, and semaphore, and Eye of Horus, and I just went on and on and on, pages in my journal, and then like I just don't know what this is yet. I mean, it feels like an aleithometer, and I know that's Philip Pullman's word, but you can't really, it's also a concept, and the concept of reading symbolism is not unique to Philip Pullman, so I don't think he can actually copyright aleithometer, because I really feel the galactic medicine that Brittany's guides, or my guides through Brittany, or both, told her about the galactic medicine is that whatever that interpretation is, I believe is one part of what is a galactic tarot or a galactic aleithometer. And so I just started getting the second part of it, I think, or they may not actually be related, I'm not sure. I was hanging out with my psilocybin folk and actually communicating with them about some things, and oh gosh, where was I going with that? That's another bad side effect, but I just lost it. Damn it. All right, well, I'm going to go back to this other stuff. So the images, this is back to Matthew's thing. As I'm looking at these images of what he's drawing, and a lot of container cells and things that I can tell are programmed in language, I can't read it, I can't make heads or tails of it, but I can tell it's really elegant, and there's a lot of thought and process behind it. And all of these drawings of all these symbols, and I thought, wow, that looks a lot like these cards, right? My symbolic deck here, which is where I found the symbol, Brittany knows this, the symbol for the debt is paid. And this looks a lot like what Matthew's writing. This cousin of mine with whom I resonate. I mean, we have literally the same bloodline in a way. I mean, not identical, but really similar, right? Because his dad is my mother's brother. So that we're not far from the tree in terms of lineage difference, right? Just our household of origin. So there's enough in common to be pretty tight. And it's turned out he is super intuitive. He was the first person I was talking to him about some things. He said, your voice changed. You sound different. I was like, I can't believe you're telling me this, because I know that's actually not you. That's somebody behind you. Or that's somebody telling me something I need to know. And how would I know that? But that's what intuition is, right? So in addition, this also just came my way. A Swanee friend of mine and somebody inquired. And I looked at that and I said, that looks too much like all these other things showing up in front of me, so I'm going to buy it. So I got it from Powell's, and I thought, ooh, I bet I need to send this to Matthew too. I'm pretty sure, I haven't even really looked at it, but I think it's going to be super, super interesting with all this other stuff I have. Okay. Oh, back to more stuff. Oh, all the words. That was right. But one of the things that came up when I was with psilocybin last is they said I could be an emissary. Like, yay, thank you. And one of the things I would love to do somehow, I just envision myself somehow being able to be in some position of power to do this, that there will be research centers and people whose job it is, who have felt called to communicate with that species, will be there communicating with the species day in and day out, bringing back data, carrying messages. To me, this seems like the most logical thing in the world to do. Why do we want to send rockets to fucking Mars? A dead place. Dead place. When maybe we could communicate with some other species that have been on this planet for billions of years longer than we have? Doesn't that seem kind of smart? And that they might, well, I was listening to a podcast and they were saying that all the plant medicine is probably thinking, wow, so we've got to do something to stop the monkeys. The monkeys are going to ruin everything for us. Yeah. All right, so to my stuff, I had another layer in addition to all those symbols that would be basically a multi-dimensional tarot. So using those symbols, you can use them multi-dimensionally as part of your practice. It's just a multi-dimensional tarot, right? So the symbols are all, they're multi-dimensional anyway, so once you're attuned to that and you're basically already vibrating in, well, the string theory universe, which seems to make a lot of sense. A lot of physicians, a lot of physics people, like string theory. But that once you're already attuned to it, it will be a fabulous tool, right? And so that's right. So the last time I was with the psilocybin, and they were talking, and they said, what's even more important than, I think they said, your sun or your moon sign is this thing called dragon rising. Okay, sounds cool, dragon rising. Okay, and so I thought, oh, well, if that's something that might be one of these missing pieces of, it almost feels like what I have to bring this collective medicine is part the aleithometer, part what Matthew has, which is basically, it's an AI, but it's somehow it's like it's human-centric AI. That's not making any sense. It's just a beautiful, elegant algorithm that creatively seems to be able, you don't even know what all it can do. And he's like, I don't know what's going to happen when we start programming. And it's like, I don't know, but I know it feels really important and kind of sci-fi, but also utterly, hey, he was a programmer before he went totally off the rails. And and that's how he and I have been able to speak freely the entire time, because we're the two black sheep. We're the ones that have done all this stuff. Getting back to, I got Dragon Rising, and I thought, ooh, well, I'll think about Brittany. It's like, oh, well, of course it's Pleiadian Rhapsody, so that's sort of your galactic influence versus purely the stars in our solar system. And then I was thinking of my friend Jen, and it had something to do with lineage. I don't know that what I had was right. Then I thought of LTB, who had to be supernova, and I was thinking of Hillary, who uses spirit rocker, and I thought, no, she's a cosmic rocker. And then it just kind of started free forming, like pineal periscope and holographic velvet and phoenix and interstellar nomad. When this is starting to sound like, seriously, this is starting to sound like a Silicon Valley title generator for energy workers. Interstellar nomad, Struthsayer, galactic pioneer. I actually do like that. The ambassador. I also think some of these might be new archetypes. And that was the other thing that was coming to me, is that these might be as part of increasing numbers of people communicating about multidimensionality, is wanting those same kinds of esoteric guidance systems that we've had down here with tarot and divining rods and all the stuff. I'm staring going, what is that? Pendulum, crystal, you name it, right? So a multi-dimensional version of that as the whole planet and everybody else gets to uplift. So maybe these are, some might be new archetypes, but they also seemed like that these things might actually even correspond with the I can't remember how many I had, and some of this has got my ego still stamped all over it. So I'm trusting that the true, fully intuitive, not mine, but through me version will show up. But so I have, right, Galactic Pioneer, the Ambassador, Spirit Walker, Voyager. Well, I have two Interstellars, whoops. Interstellar Whisperer, Ghost Dancer, Abracadabra. Star Dancer, of course, though, for me. Gravity Well, or Gravity Wellspring. Paradigm Dervish, Dream Keepers, Love Tsunami, and Akashic Dust. I think that one's real. So I've gotten all these things. Oh, this is what Matthew called it this morning. A genetic algorithm. Think on that one, sisters. I think it has something to do with the DNA we don't know what to do with yet. But by using this algorithm, it'll light some of that up. And we'll become more and more aware of it. That's the theory I just got just now. So, the other thing about this, and why I'm just making this video, because I have no idea really what's going to happen with all this. And I'm channeling whoever this, I've got an archivist in here. This is where the Akashic Dust, and I just get all something. So this manifestation or aspect is really about making note of, right? Archiving, writing it up, making sure it's cross-referenced so that it's there for everybody. So this is her. Or probably genderless. I don't know where it's from. Maybe that's the place where my home star, my pulsar is. I have no idea what part of the galaxy. Where was I going with this? Oh, so Matthew's genetic algorithm, he wants it to be open source. He's not going to make any money. He doesn't want to copyright any of it. And I realized for me, and he also calls it quantum chaos. I'm going to give you the link for it's just, that was his name for it, always. And it's not actually creating quantum chaos. It's the fact that it's both and. It's intrinsic. There's entropy in our both and universe. We really cannot escape it. And that would break physics, so not so much. Whatever all these things that I have, the galactic medicine and the multi-dimensional tarot, aleithometer. Oh, there wasn't one more part. Oh, I knew that. One more. Okay, I've got so much. One of the things that came to me is that peacock ore, it just says peacock ore is mine. I'm like, I don't really know what that means. But that particular metals, so again, with where you're born or where you first become awake, I don't know. But whatever that resonance frequency is where the magnetic field is and the kinds of minerals underused that you would have had in your water. That there's some aspect of that, and I would love if there was some way I could find it in blood or in something to quantify that, because that could be that actual. I'd love to be able to find the actual unique resonance, and it be somewhere on a scale, like a galactic sound wave or gravity wave. Gravity wave, we could infinite, right? They're huge. Gravity waves are huge. So we could put all the individual, because each person would be a unique resonance, right? That's kind of the way we all, I think, our individuation from universal intelligence. That's like our, well, no, our thumbprint is our unique thumbprint. So if you could really scientifically get that actual wavelength and then kind of put it on a gravity wave. Well, I guess you don't have to put it anywhere, but it would allow you, I think, once you knew that, to more effectively become more intuitive and say, well, how do you know that? He's like, I just know. I don't have to know why. It's intuitive now. It becomes more, and it builds on itself. But I have this, the intuition is that the more you know about your own resonance and how to get there, so that by figuring out what the gravity was like and the minerals and all this kind of stuff, that can allow you to use the aleithometer and the multi-dimensional tarot with these archetypes and things to get a more multi-dimensional answers to questions. Wait, I just went a whole different way with that. Anyway, I want it all to be open source. I don't want to make money off of it. I don't want it to be one-on-one. I want it to be out there, open source, multi-dimensional. Here's a possible map, so that as many people, because then as many people as possible can interpret it in the infinite amazing ways that humans do, right? Infinite combinations and infinite possibilities and infinite combinations. There we go, something like that. So that was kind of a lot. But I wanted to share that with both of you. It feels important to share and to put it out there, and that I will, I'm not going to list it right now because I don't know what to even do with it. And I don't know that Matthew I did ask his permission to share it with you two. I'm not sure how he would feel about it being public, so I would need to ask. But he said I could share, so. Anyway, yeah, if this does do some kind of massive activation fabulousness that you guys get, please share with me. I would be so excited to realize that I might be able to communicate something fairly profound along with that universal intelligence quanta part of it too. Did I tell you that before I started this, that I sanctified myself. I made myself holy before this. I anointed myself with my fancy oils, and I did my Palo Santo. And I took a moment to be able to do this. I'm not doing it at all, but I'm going to put it there for you guys, and you can let me know if you want to share it with people that you think in your worlds would be interested. Please do. That feels totally right. All right. Love you.